Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do some technical analysis on Intel, ticker symbol INTC. So let's just get right into it. First of all, what we see here is a top and a high of around 67, 67.50, $67, and a low of 18.30, $19, $18. I just put it there roughly. And then what we see is that price pretty much hit these highs around April of 2021 and February 2020. It had a double top rejection and basically a drop. From April 2021, the stock just continued to tumble and fall until October 2022, where it found some support here. And basically, it had three touches before it broke out and hit some resistance here at 51 $51 about. All right. So when it hit that resistance where you see here, this was also a support level, but then a resistance level. So there's resistance here, there's a resistance there, and it caused it to drop, and it went down below the previous support and found a new support, multiple touches here at 1920. That was the bottom basically until the next move up. And the next move up was testing that $50 range, which it did recently. And so it got above the 200, broke back into the previous support, and made its way up to the most recent high, which is $50, but failed to break out. And so that's where the stock is at the present moment. It's still above the 200 level, but it has been somewhat consolidating, ranging in this area from about 51 dollars to, I would say, about $45. And so it tried to break out as high as 54.45 before it gapped down during earnings. And so it had a nice bounce back up, but it's making a lower high. So if it doesn't break down and make it even a lower high, looks like we could be consolidating and possibly trying to see if it can break back up to about $56. $56 and 59, $58, somewhere around these ranges. You know, it's they're more like zones. So I'm just putting in lines there, but just to give us an idea. So right now, that's where we stand on the daily. And technically, if we go ahead and put a trend line here, we can see if it's at least holding a trend. And it looks like it's still holding a trend. So we've got the 5 and the 20 here, and it dipped down slightly but bounced back up, hit the 50, and it was an overbought, kind of went down, could be consolidating for another leg up. It's possible. um, Looks like selling volume has been decreasing. Selling climax was here during earnings, after earnings, and was able to recover, get some move back up to retest that 50, although it failed. So um, you just want to see if it's going to hold support, hold even this trend line if it wants to continue for another leg up, or it might consolidate before it moves up, or could consolidate and break down. So we're not here to predict anything. We're just looking at the charts. But basically, what we're seeing right now is it's still above the 200. It's still somewhat holding within the trend line. There is a support here, and so you just have to kind of see what it wants to do from here, right? Let's just see what it wants to do from here. So it could have a breakout. If it does, we should see some buying pressure increase and bring this to the next leg up. Or it could fail, break through this support and come down um, to the next level of support. I don't know if it'll get down that low, but you could find various levels of support in case it does drop, if it breaks trend, right? So just some things to consider, some things to look at. You got a lot of lines drawn here, but this is a daily doji candle. So normally after a downtrend, doji's good potential signal for an uptrend. So we shall see. So if you were gonna just day trade this, possibly, we'll go ahead and mark out the daily candle here. So this is the daily. I'll go ahead and color it, what, green or something? Let's do green. Put some dots to differentiate. All right, so that's the daily candle. Start going down to the 4-hour chart. So all right, 4-hour chart there. Take it to the 2 hours chart. All right, so maybe you can draw a trend line here. So if it could go either way. Could go drop down some more, hit this support here. You got a one touch here, boom. This one is actually didn't go as low, but that kind of held there. So you got You got those two touches there. So you got a little potential channel, downward channel going down here. So you're going to see maybe if it holds here at 45.17, hold support. Hold support at 45.17, this level here, right? So looks like there's some order blocks there right there. So you see if it dips all the way down or just continues to hold some support here for a potential move to the previous day's high at 46.84. If it breaks out, then it could go to this bigger daily trend line for resistance on 200 and on this trend line. So that's on the shorter time frame if you want to look at it in that way. 47.30, then to about $48, and if it breaks above the 200 and tests this upper downward trend on the bigger time frame. So that's what you would do. Going down to the 30, same thing. I mean, could go down here, 15 minutes, same thing. So on the smaller time frames, you see the 200s right here on the previous day's high, at least at this time on the 15-minute. So VWAP is right here. It's kind of, as long as if it opens and stays above VWAP tomorrow and breaks out of this downward channel, it could try to retest previous day's high, 200 moving average, and go to the next resistance level, which is 47.30. Have a possible retest down if it moves forward and breaks out 48, and try to make its way up to the upper long-term resistance, daily resistance trend line. So, but the daily ATR, it all depends, right, on the move. So, but it's just something, if you're day trading, you can look at a smaller time frame and try to see if you want to catch a move. Here, the 200, the VWAP, all the moving averages are basically sitting together. So that's actually a potentially interesting trade, and see how it develops overnight, pre-market, and at the open. But you could have a spike up just like here and just kind of spike and have a drop. So I would have my stops ready for that if you want to try to catch a big move, unless real volume kicks in and just really pushes the stock higher. So for today's trading, we saw that it had attempted to break out. That this 200 moving average basically was the resistance. So tried to break out the 200, got up to 200, but met this resistance on this downward channel, brought it back down, and so now it's still below the 200. But everybody's lying together, and so be interesting to see what it does tomorrow. So if you're considering trading this stock, INTC, that's just some information for you to consider. And hopefully you got some value from it, give you some ideas. And again, we're not here to predict what will happen, but just need to watch and react accordingly. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below. Let me know what you think. Are you bullish on this stock? Are you bearish? If you got some value, please like and consider subscribing. And until next time, God bless.